Happy birthday.
I've already lived through this day. Somebody's gonna kill me tonight.
Hello and welcome to another bad movie review. This time we're talking about Happy Death Day. This is a 2017 PG-13 film, about an hour and a half long, and features mostly unknown actors and actresses. The lead is played by Jessica Rothe, and she is mostly known for La La Land, and you may also recognize her from Boy Kills World. And of course the sequel to this film, because spoiler alert, there's a sequel. Now, she stars as Tree Gelbman, which Tree is short for Teresa, as revealed through the storyline. It's not secret knowledge or anything. And she is repeating the same day over and over again. They do make a Groundhog Day reference near the end of the film, which was pretty funny. But every time she dies, she comes back and has to relive the same day, and she starts to memorize things. We do learn how many times she has died and come back, and not all of them are shown, from what I could tell. But there were some pretty interesting deaths, and there are some really good twists in this as well. So while she is trying to figure out who her killer is, she ends up having to ally herself with other people. She tries to team up with this guy Carter, who is played by Israel Broussard, and is also the love interest. Now, Israel doesn't have as much recognizable stuff in his resume, but he is seemingly a working actor, so you might recognize him from a few of his TV projects or stuff like that. But like so many of the cast members, I had no idea who any of these people were, and he was one of those people. But I have to say, the cast did a remarkably good job with this. It's got a real nice script where everything seems to flow pretty well. Continuity was pretty solid overall. The little changes that happen throughout as she changes her routine and creates new scenarios for herself to get killed were pretty fun. It had a certain Final Destination feel to it, but at the same time it was just a dark version of Groundhog Day. And I have to say, I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was going to be kind of overrated and stupid, but it was shockingly fun. I'm glad they didn't go with the alternate ending. I thought that was really stupid and kind of defeated the point of what they revealed for the bad guy at the end. So I'm glad they did change the ending to the one they actually used, because I think it fit the story better. And she does start as a very unlikable character. She's kind of a slut, and she's really mean to people, and she's very unrepentant in it. And a lot of that comes from the fact that her mother died and she hasn't processed those feelings. And she slowly starts to realize that she's a bad person and she doesn't really like herself that much. So as she's dying and trying to solve her own murder, she's kind of having that moral awakening that maybe she needs to work on herself. So I thought it was a surprisingly fun film. There's some really great one-liners. It's not that scary as far as slasher films go or thrillers. It's really not a thriller. It gets called a horror thriller, but it's more of a horror-omedy because there's a lot of comedic sequences in here and some really good one-liners. So I had a lot of fun watching this one, and I can't really say too much about who the killer was or anything, but I did figure it out by about the halfway mark, which is a little longer than I thought it was going to take me to figure this one out. But the twists are not obvious. They do a really good job of misdirecting you to thinking it's other people. I thought it was just really well written for the way they did it. So I'm going to recommend this one. I had a lot of fun watching it, and it's a good horror slasher film without being too gory. There's a little bit of blood, but not a lot. It's not over the top and unrealistic, other than the fact that she's stuck in a temporal loop, and they don't really explain why she's in a temporal loop or how it happens. She just ends up in this time loop that for some reason it's like a superpower or something that's just never explained. But she's able to figure out who her killer is, and that seems to break the loop. Well, I thought the premise was great, and I'm looking forward to watching the sequel, which hopefully will be at least as good as this, but it's gonna probably suffer from sequel syndrome. But this was a great standalone film either way. So I'm glad to add this one to my collection, and I'm definitely going to recommend it. And that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.